Hey everybody, this is Ed from the Whiskey Tangent Podcast. I'm here with Scott.
Hey everybody.
And Merry Christmas to all of you. And we're here with another one of our famous quick tastes on our whiskey short. This is not your average. This isn't a bottle of Jim Beam, the Devil's Cut. This is an old crow that you found in your granddaddy's garage.
Yeah.
With nails in it.
In the whiskey. Yeah,
it tastes nails like it.
Oh, it tastes like it.
No, but today we have a really nice expression to share with you. I'm excited. Scott, tell the people what we're going to be tasting.
Well, Ed, we've mentioned it several times on this podcast, in the first 2 episodes even. It is Midwinter Night's Dram. Whiskey short.
Which is a play on words with the famous Shakespeare play, which Scott will refer to later again, I'm sure, because he was an English major.
I was, yeah. The Midsummer Night's Dream was a Shakespeare comedy, and it's really incredibly complicated play. So I'm hoping that the whiskey...
It will be just as complicated.
Yeah.
In flavor.
We've had this before.
Yeah, we can't act like we haven't tasted it before. We have had it.
However, they put out a different version every year.
Right.
We have Act 7, Scene 2, so it's the 7th year that it was released, and batch number 2 of the release 7.
Right, and I really feel like the first time we had this, quite possibly might not have been any of their own products, Scott.
Yes.
When High West first came out, they used a lot of outsourcing for their product, and I still like the fact that they do that to help bring in different flavors as they tend to do blends, which, like Jefferson, Blood Oath, they like to blend stuff together. So this one...
Yeah, so it's a blend of 2 4 to 7-year-old straight rye whiskeys, first aged in new charred white American oak barrels, as they must be, and then finished in port casks, and then finished again in French oak barrels and bottled at 98.6 proof. The 2 ryes are a 95% rye, 5% malted barley from MGP, which is the same stuff that's in Bullet Rye.
And Sagamore.
And Sagamore, Double Oaked Rye.
And Redemption.
And
Whistle Pig.
And Angel's Envy.
And a plethora of others.
Right. And the second rye is High West's own 80% rye, 20% malted rye.
Right. So Dave Perkins has finally been able to put out some of his own products over at High West to, supplement the stuff that he does. It's not the way it used to be where outsourcing was a big negative thing. And now it's an art form to blend, to go out into the marketplace and find different products aged different ways and put them together into your own blended expression is now quite trendy.
Very acceptable. And we actually talked about that as well on our first episode. So we're almost coming home. Really, we're coming full circle.
Right.
And Ed, you alluded to the fact that when we tried it the first time in Atlantic City in the Iron Room, the bartender who was the menu, and he reached back into the thing and he pulled out this wonderful bottle. It didn't have enough of a full pour in it, so he gave it to us for free.
He did. It didn't have a full dram, so he split it in half. We each had probably 0.5, 0.75 of an ounce of it.
And that's going back, 2 years, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Act 6, so last year's, was the first time that they used their own. And prior to that, the second whiskey that they used besides the MGP one was a 16-year-old rye from Barton's Distillery, which was 80% rye, 10% corn, and 10% barley.
Right. We went to the Iron Room and we asked the guy, hey, get us something different that we've never had. And it was different. I've never had anything like it, but this one's completely different than that one. So while we've had this spirit from High West before, we haven't had this version, and I think that's important.
Right. So do you want to read what's on the back of the label? It's a message from David Perkins.
Right, who is the master distiller and the owner there, isn't it?
Yes, he's the one who started it.
Right.
We talked about him in episode 14 when we did the Willet Estate Rye versus the High West Double Rye. All right, so he has a couple quotes from the Shakespeare play, which I will read in an English accent.
Of course, please do.
Yes. Are you sure that we are awake? It seems to me that yet we sleep, we dream. That is Demetrius in Act 4, Scene 1.
Well, very well done.
Of a Midsummer Night's Dream. Greetings, good gentles and ladies. At High West, we consider whiskey an indispensable part of making it through the long, cold winter. One taste of a Midsummer Night's... One taste of a Midwinter Night's Dram alongside a cozy fire will surely transport you to a dreamlike state. This limited release whiskey is a sumptuous marriage of our Rendezvous Rye. So that's
so we know where it is.
Yeah, so that's the mix. Finished in both port and French oak barrels, the rye forms a beautiful base of vanilla, caramel, and cinnamon. The port barrels enhance with plums and dried fruits, episode 16. And the French oak provides a spice accent, episode 17.
A Midwinter Night's Dram tastes like a proper Christmas plum pudding with lovely mulling spices, dried fruit, and
creme anglaise.
Because Scott knows I can't pronounce that.
It's French for English cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another quote from Shakespeare. So join us, good ladies and gents. Gather mongst thy family and friends, and raise thy glass to winters that are swift as a shadow, short as any dream, brief as the lightning in the collied night. That was Lysander in Act 1, Scene 1 of A Midsummer Night's Dream. In that quote, Lysander describes how quickly true love can vanish. And this is how we feel about a dram of this whiskey. However, if you savor it slowly, we can attest that a Midwinter Night's Dram will help you through the coldest night. Fare thee well, David Perkins.
We actually had a bottle come available at our whiskey lounge that we belong to. And one of our lounge mates, I guess.
Yeah, lounge mates.
He wanted it, but we had asked for it. So Anders, being a man of true character, said, listen, I got to talk to Scott and Ed. And we all had a little meeting of the four of us. Right? And he said, listen, give it to me. And anytime you want it, I trust you guys. Just Anders and, pour it up for him. But I want access to what you have in your lockers. So far, it's been going pretty well. We have good people there.
Yeah. Basically, we have 2 lockers now.
Right. If you look at it like that.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I don't know if Doug, I don't know if that.
Well, no, we're not going to go overboard with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I think the only thing we have to do now is taste it because, I'm thirsty.
Yeah, I'm really thirsty.
Yeah.
My throat's parched.
All right, so we, as is per usual, of late, recently? What am I saying?
All 3 of them mean the same thing, so yes.
They do, yes, all of them. We have some neat and some on ice.
Right, so first neat, we're going
to smell.
I get almost like a little bit of a orange almost. Not citrus either, but like an orange.
Like a candied orange?
Yeah,
maybe?
almost like an orange candy.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm smelling, but I like the smell of it, if that makes any sense.
And I just took a sip of it, and very similar to some of the other things that we've had that have been of higher quality. There's a lot of complexity. It comes in many layers. It's very oily on the tongue, and the finish is very steady and long.
Yeah, in his description that I just previously read, he said vanilla, caramel, and cinnamon, plums, dried fruit, and spice. I can taste all of that.
I can really taste all of that.
Yeah.
It's a French oak, but then you said it's finished in port too, right? There's so much going on with it.
I can taste the port influence in this much more than I tasted in either of the ones that we featured on our port whiskey episode.
I agree.
This is so good. Okay, so the tasting notes from the High West site, on the nose, cinnamon, rhubarb, and plum pie, orange Jaffa cake.
Right, which I said not orange citrusy, right?
Right.
I said it was like a sweet orange.
Yeah. Star anise, cedar box, toasted pecan with dates. Their tasting notes are interesting. Black cherry reduction, molasses, birch root.
Birch beer then?
I guess, yeah. A fig jam.
Oh, yeah, of course. I always taste fig jam.
And gingerbread. I mean, I can see the black cherry reduction, although I wouldn't have ever put those words together.
Are you tasting ginger?
No, I'm not tasting ginger. I taste dark fruits. I taste cinnamon.
Yeah, it's really like jam. Like I'm getting like a jam finish. Fruit, but like you said, very like strong fruits.
A dark fruit jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the finish, spiced clove and blackberries, candied ginger, again with the ginger, wooden spice box, and orange peel.
Yeah. I will say, visually, one of the most unique colored whiskeys I've ever had.
It is.
It's very interesting. It's almost like a cherry juice. Like
it's very red.
It looks almost like a Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like the way a Manhattan looks after it's made with the vermouth.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
But it's just straight whiskey.
That has to be the port influence.
Yes.
All right. Do you love it?
I do love it.
I love it.
I love it.
Should we say what the price was?
Sure, of course.
Yeah. So I walked into the Wine Works in Marlton where I have my alcoholics card, which I always talk about. I was actually going to buy a big bottle of Bullet because I want to make some Manhattans. They have a case in there, a wooden case with a lock that has all their $100 plus items in it. And I always just take a look at it.
Like the Johnny Walker Blue. People loved about, the Johnny Walker Blue's here.
Fucking Johnny Walker Blue.
Catalina wine mixer.
Right. Yacht rock. Sail away. So I always like to look in there and see what whiskeys they have, just out of curiosity. And there was a bottle of this in there. And we had already talked about wanting to get our hands on a bottle so that we could do this short that you're listening to right now. And I saw the price. It was $109. And I texted Ed immediately. I said, they have Midwinters for $109. Get? And he's like, yes.
You'd have to be at 140 for me to go, oh, God, that's a little...
So this is really our Christmas present to each other.
Absolutely. So here's, for Christmas, a little...
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. It's a lot of people's favorite holiday. It's Scott's favorite holiday.
It's my favorite
holiday.
And
there's a lot of things I like about it, but I have had a little bit of a problem with Christmas over the years.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. If you remember from Thanksgiving, if you even listened to it.
And if you didn't listen to Thanksgiving, this time for real, you have to go back because it's completely relevant.
So we did basically the same thing we're doing tonight. And so what we did was we did a quick taste of wild turkey, rare breed for Turkey Day. And then Ed talked about how much he liked Thanksgiving and why. And then I did a rap about why I hated it. And it actually came out pretty good.
It did.
So now we're going to do the opposite. So we did the tasting of the Midwinter Night's Dram. I'm going to talk about how much I like Christmas and why.
Sure.
And
I can't wait to hear it.
And then Ed's going to rap about how much he doesn't.
We'll see how that works.
Yeah. So Christmas, look at my apartment. It's like Santa threw up in here.
I think I mentioned when Scott was married, him and his wife were really spectacular interior Christmas decorators.
Yeah.
Designers almost.
Yeah.
Every room had a different theme.
Yeah, we did projects.
So now Scott's downsized. He has a very nice apartment and he has quite a lot of decorations up as far as lights and wrapped
stuff on the walls.
Stuff on the wall and monogrammed Christmas paper. It's like, yeah.
That's true. My Scott papers on my
it
door.
looks like Elf slept over last night.
I have a lot of nutcrackers. I like nutcrackers. I think they're kind of cool.
He has a nutcracker collection from ones as big as, I guess, 3 feet in height?
Maybe 2.5.
Okay.
I used to have like 5-foot ones.
Right, I remember you had big ones.
Yeah, my wife got.
Damn it, divorce settlements. Can see that. So she's going to take the 2 5-footers. Oh,
well, I just didn't want to.
Damn it!
I just didn't want to move it to my apartment. I didn't have anywhere to put it.
No,
frankly, yeah,
true.
It's a 5-foot fucking nutcracker.
If it was out all year,
Yeah, and real wood too. Real heavy wood. It weighs like 60 pounds.
Right.
It was a fun time for us to have.
It was a Christmas party of the year.
Yeah, we had a great party. All of our friends came over. Food, booze. Actually, it's when people would bring me whiskeys that I'd never had before, and I really started getting the whiskeys, actually.
That's right. It was at those parties where people would bring them and leave them, and then after the party, Scott and I would drink them, and we're like, hey, these are pretty good.
Yeah, these are pretty good.
These are way better than Jim Beam.
We should do a podcast.
We should. Well,
I just like the, everyone seems to be in a better mood. There's lights, people going to see Santa, and buying presents. Now, buying presents could be a fucking pain in the ass, but, you know,
that's part of my problem.
Yeah, we have Amazon, but that's what I do. I can't stand going out for Black Friday. It's too fucking crowded. But I equate that with Thanksgiving because it's all Thanksgiving's fault. It's the day after Thanksgiving and everybody has off because Thanksgiving has to be on a Thursday on the random. Also, my family seems to be in a better mood around Christmas. We almost never have fights around Christmas. It's only Thanksgiving when we have fights. And I will report that there were no fights this Thanksgiving.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So, oh no, maybe it'll be opposite now.
Right.
Maybe we're going to fight on Christmas. So I will sum up mine by just saying that I like the decorations. I like the mood that everybody's in. I even like the music. Now, don't listen to it too early.
Right.
Don't be listening to it like in October, like around Halloween. That's stupid. Yeah, so that's it.
All right. So we're going to take a quick pause, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to do my rap. Hey. I'm going to lay down some Christmas knowledge for y'all. Spit some bars. It's been a while. I don't know if I'm going to be able to top Scott's Thanksgiving Day masterpiece, but I'm going to give it a shot. Let's try it. Everybody's talking about Christmas. Listen closely, cause I'm not trying to diss this. I'm trying to keep it so simple and simplistic. It can be cool, but you gotta be realistic. Every boy and girl asking for the perfect toy now that they saw on TV, that's their ploy. How to get parents spending money they don't have? Wow. Amazon, oink oink, you're a fat sow. Dad's working extra shift to get the cash out. Mom's taking rings down to the pawn shop. Parents crying from the stress. Yo, what's up? Seems like robbery to me. Call the mall cops. Old Saint Nick and his pack of reindeers. Rudolph leading them out of danger. There's a scarier part I fear. 3 wise men in a crowded manger. Happy holidays, not Merry Christmas. You mad, bro? You must have missed it. Shh, shut your mouth now, just listen. Grab some mistletoe, my ass, and kiss it. The lights are pretty, Scott, we agree. Let's watch them twinkle with a glass of whiskey. I love Christmas songs, but in December, y'all playing them since early November. Got me crazy like I wanna dismember. What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh right, where did it start for me? These bad feelings I got for Christmas a long time ago, please listen to see. Kids in divorce can be so vicious, feeling like pawns on a giant chessboard, each fighting over where we will wake up, keeping track close and careful records, leaving me acting like the only grown-up. Oh, but you know what? There is a lot of stuff I like. I can talk about some things that I like too. Pretty decorations, spending time with relations, passed down ornaments from when I was young, a Christmas meal that mocked starvation, my grandkids opening gifts. So fun. Done.
Nice. Awesome.
That's all I got.
All right.
Yeah, so anyway, thanks for taking the time to let me get that off my chest.
Well, turnabout is fair play.
So listen, to everyone out there, if you get a chance, if a Midwinter's Night Dram crosses your path, please treat yourself. It's worth it. It's rare. There's not a lot of it out there. So if you're able to whatever they want for it.
Yeah, if you don't want a full bottle of it, like if you find it at a bar and
$20 or something, 22, like
Merry Christmas to yourself.
Yeah, really.
It's one of the few things that Ed likes about Christmas.
Right. I love it. I don't even know if it has anything to do with Christmas. It just sounds Christmassy with Midwinter's and Night Dram, so we made it Christmas Eve.
Right. I don't even know when Midwinter actually is.
All kidding aside, the best things about Christmas and the holidays is being with family. Tomorrow morning, you'll be in your pajamas, all cuddled down under blankets, drinking hot chocolate, watching the kids open presents in a good, safe, and healthy place. And from all of us here at Whiskey Tangent, Scott and me, and sometimes Gabe, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday to all of our listeners.
It can be a magical time, and we hope that it's a magical time for you.
Agreed. Be well.
Good night.